my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today, Satan's fallen angelic princes are bent on corrupting every last soul, leading forces of darkness in a bitter war against humans. Your angels, armed with your weapons, courage, and your God-given angelic powers, you and your faithful allies must overcome the legions of demons to slay their leader. Deliverance is a cooperative adventure that unfolds over multiple battles between an angelic host and their demonic enemies. Now it's for 1 to 4 players, it takes between 1 and 2 hours to play, it's for ages 14 and up, and published by Lowen Games. Now it's on Kickstarter right now, so I'm going to show you how to set up the game, and I'll see you on the other side. This is a Kickstarter preview, so all the art and components you see here are prototype. They're not final. You're going to want to check the Kickstarter link in the description of this video to see all the final art and components. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to select an angel, and each of them have their own things about them. They have their own actions, abilities, stats, and things like that. And the backside of these talk about the play style. It gives you the lore and the inspiration. Talks about damage, defense, support, and difficulty, so you can find which angel you'd like to play. And there are plenty of these to choose from. Now once each player has selected their angel, they'll get the board, they'll get some action tokens, some courage tokens, and some talents. These are special things that this angel will be able to do, and there's levels 1, 2, and 3. There's actually multiple cards of each of these that you can choose from, but there's also a selected set for your first game that it tells you about on the back side of this. Now I have a 3-player game set up here, so here we're going to set up a battle track here and battle cards, a certain amount, 3 of them, 1 for each player, because we're actually going to set up some map tiles for each player as well. And each of these have their own board that they'll do different things, and there's different levels of difficulty you can play on. In the lowest level, they don't get any talents, but you can actually play harder levels where they actually get talent cards and things like that. You'll also set up a certain amount of map tiles, 1 for each angel player. We have 3 angels. They start here on this board. And these demons actually, they're told where to set up both demons and saints depending on the cards that were placed for them earlier. Now each battle you fight in Deliverance consists of rounds, and each round is a single cycle through 3 different phases. And a battle is won when all demons are defeated in battle, and the game is won when all demons, including fallen princes, but will come out later, are defeated in the final battle, but you lose if all angels are defeated. We'll talk about that later. Now you're working together, so this is a fully cooperative game. Now this is the Skirmish Mode. There's also a campaign mode you can play with. I'll touch on that briefly at the end of this video. Now each round starts with the darkness phase, and you're gonna place a card from here face down, left to right in this order here, 1 for every angel. In a 3-player game, we've got 3 of them down here. Now there's also 3 saints on the board. These are oppressed on the blue side. What you're trying to do over the course of the game is get them protected and get them to the other side, because after the first round, next time you come to the darkness phase, for every one of these oppressed saints, you'd add another one of those darkness cards. So let's just pretend it was past the first round and we had to add some more cards. Well, there's only 2 slots left, but there were 3 oppressed saints. So after you've added the 2 and filled this up, for every card after that, you need to flip cards from the left. So we have 1 extra that we would have needed to draw, so we'll flip 1. And these do all sorts of different things. Like this means it's immediate, Terror by Night. Each angel's dealt 2 damage, and if a player has at least 1 prayer card in hand, reduce it by 1, for example. And to make it even worse, if all the cards are already face up and you need to draw more, each angel would take 1 damage for every other card that was supposed to be drawn. So you don't want this to fill up too much. Now some of the cards have this, which means it's an ongoing effect, Hunger Pains. Anytime angel would gain courage, they must first do a test. We'll talk about tests in a minute. And on failure, reduce that amount by 1. So some of these will just stay here and it's sort of an ongoing thing. And if a card doesn't show this, once you've resolved it, you'll just put it in the discard pile, which is to the right of this spot. Then after all that, you'll go to the actions phase. You'll refresh all your actions. Right now, they're already refreshed because it's the first round of the game. And whoever has the angel initiative token, you give that, you figure out who's going to be the first angel to act. They get this, and then they'll be able to spend some actions. Each of these will be flipped over once they spend an action, and in this case, you have 2 actions. Now, some actions are free to do, assuming you can do them. Some of them cost different things, like this one says move up to 3 spaces, then deal damage equal to an adjacent demon, but this one costs 4 courage. I only have 2, so I can't do this, but it is a free action. If I had enough, I could do that. The other ones, I would spend an action to do so. And remember that all of these are different for every angel. Now we'll go over some of these actions in just a moment, but after the first angel acts and does their actions, then the first demon in the row is going to do their action. They'll flip this and they'll be able to do things from their board. For example, they'll roll the die and they'll look at the here and they'll say, oh, we rolled a 1, time freeze. Right? They move infinitely and the range of 1, the Sandman engages the angel with the highest health and deals 3 damage. Essentially moves into range with them and then deals that damage, for example. Then it would be the next angel's turn clockwise, followed by the next demon, the next angel, the next demon, and so on and so forth. And then that will end the action phase. So let's show you some basic actions. Now, advanced, the first time he does this, it's free action. The second time he does it, he'll have to spend one of these action tokens. So let's say he moves up to 2 spaces. You're always moving orthogonally, not diagonally. So let's say he moves, up to 2, and he's going to move right next to that cruel archer. Now let's say next he wants to do overhand. This is going to cost an action, so he'll flip that. He'll gain a courage, so we'll put that here. And then you're going to deal damage equal to this to a demon, then use this, and then we're going to do a test on +7. So let's talk about this. First we're going to deal 2 damage. Now we did 2 damage to the number 1. They're numbered out on the board, and it has a total health of 7. And also notice this had a range of 1, so I had to be within 1 space of them to do that overhand damage to them. So now we're going to do a test. We will roll 2 dice. For example, let's say we rolled an 8. It's at least 7. We need 7 plus. We would gain another courage per the aspect here. And maybe for my second action, I pray, and I'm going to draw a prayer card. I'm also going to gain another courage. And these prayer cards are drawn from this board. Now, I would have only gotten 1 of these, but I just want to show you the different range of types of things. Some of them actually you use as actions, like play on your turn as an action. Target angel heals 5 damage. You can use it on someone to help them out. Or maybe each angel gains 2 courage. This one is, play anytime, not an action. You remove an affliction. Now, certain things might come up during the game, different afflictions that you might get that will hinder you in some way, shape, or form. And you'll be able to remove one of those, and that angel gains a shield, which will help them take damage. This will take, the first damage away from them. You'll lose the shield, and then you'll take damage after that. Some of them are like play on your turn for a free action. Target any angel may equip 1 heavily treasure card. Now, these heavily treasure cards are very powerful, because they can do things like, hey, ongoing, add 1 to the result of all the tests of that type. Or it's a weapon where you do a test of 9+, and your next skill deals 2 bonus damage if it succeeds, but you use once per round for that. Or sometimes this is a weapon that will just help you pretty much all the time. For example, we see this is has to do with this. So we can move up to 3 spaces, then deal that much damage. Well, I have 4, but this gives me another 1. And this actually gives me 2 more health. So these things are pretty powerful. Now, as you destroy demons on the board, you'll go up a certain amount of experience points depending on the demon that you destroyed. So if it was this one, you'd go up 2, for example, because it says 2 XP. And if you destroy all demons of a specific type, you would remove this card from this track and put it in the discard pile. Another way to gain experience is to move and end your movement adjacent to an oppressed saint. Remember, for every oppressed saint, each darkness round, you're going to get more cards that come out. You will protect it like that. And when you do that, you'll gain an experience point. However, if one of the demons comes by here and it's protected, well, it's going to flip back like that. And also notice that there's lines on here. This protects adjacency. So if we had just flipped this to protected because we're here on this open side, if this demon comes here, it's protected, it will not flip back over. Now, if this ever gets to the level of number of players +1, so in a 3-player game, it shows 3 there. If we get here, then everyone gets to essentially, level up, if you will, and then this will go back down and sort of reset. Now, in the beginner game, we put predetermined ones here for level 1, 2, and 3. We would flip that over, and now we have this. For example, when using overhand, you may deal damage to another demon within 1 range of your target. Now, if you were playing the sort of the non-beginner game, you would have drawn 2 level 1 cards that were face down and select 1 to put there. So, you have more choices if you've played the game a bunch of times. Or instead of doing that, you can decide to draw 2 heavenly treasure cards and basically keep 1 of them. Now, after that 3rd phase of the XP track, you then go back to the 1st phase, which is going back to the darkness phase and such. However, anytime all the demon types are defeated, you then start staging the final battle. Now, you'll do things like discarding any face-down darkness cards with the face-up ones stay in play. You'll remove any of the saints from the map tiles. And if an angel had unused action remaining, they'd be able to gain a bonus, like gaining courage, casting down a darkness card, healing damage, or drawing a prayer card. And each angel actually gets to gain the next level. Now you'd set up the battle just like the regular setup, but the last demon, instead, you'll use one of these fallen princes. These will all be shuffled and you'll use one of these. And so it might look something like this with the two normal demons and then the prince. Now if you were playing with demon talents, they would actually get some of those as well. And then you make up their deck with the 1 star, the smallest stars on top, and then the ones that are harder below that. They're going to get their own deck there. Now that deck actually goes on here in the Prince deck, and when you're drawing darkness cards, this is the deck you're going to draw from. Now just to show you what some of these look like, some of them will have the stronghold effect, and that basically means that you cannot cast them down via prayer actions or other card effects. So the map and everything is sort of set up like you did with setup with the demons and the prince, and essentially you're trying to defeat everything, the prince and the other 2 demon types to win the game. Which definitely is not easy, because in a 3-player game, it's 36 plus 11, so 47 you need to give Herod the Great. Now, I told you how to win the game, but how to lose the game is to have all angels defeated. Now we have 16 health, and let's say he just took his last damage. Now he would retain certain things, like you'd retain the damage, the courage token, talents, heavenly treasure, and prayer cards. So all's not for loss. The game continues as long as at least one other angel is still standing. Now he would come off the map as well. Now defeated angels can still take their turns as normal and may still use pray actions and prayer cards. However, they cannot use other skills contained on their character board. Now defeated angels can be revived through card effects or pray actions, and angels might even be able to revive themselves. Now when that happens, you would remove 1 damage token and place your angel any space on the heavily gate part of the map, and then once again all your actions are available to you. But if all of them are defeated, you've lost the game. Now so far I've shown you just the skirmish mode, but there is a campaign mode that will allow your angel to grow in power over the course of a 14 mission campaign that is able to play solo and playable for up to 4 angels. Now there is a campaign tracking sheet that's used to record your progress. Early on, you'll have only your own character to worry about, and at the end of each mission, you'll gain experience points that you'll spend on unlocking upgrades of various types. And some of these upgrades will be brand new bonuses exclusive to campaigns. For example, you'll gain the ability to begin a mission with prayer cards, shield tokens, extra cards resources, or even permanent bonuses for your tests. You'll also be able to unlock angel talents of any level, allowing you to combine your angel's existing talents in brand new ways. And you can even exchange your talent cards between missions if you choose. Now in campaigns, angels will unlock the heavenly treasure items after certain events during the campaign, typically after each act is completed. Now there's 7 acts for a total of 14 missions. And once you gain an item, it's a permanent addition to your angel. The first time you go through the campaign, you'll go through each act in a linear fashion, and it will culminate in an epic ending and a box you may open which unlocks replayable content additions to the skirmish game. This is sort of like a legacy light. But each campaign mission will also scale in difficulty through a creative combination of demon talent cards. Plus, campaign missions have unique victory conditions, such as requiring the escort of a saint to a particular location, or surviving X rounds against overcoming odds, defeating all the demons within X rounds, and more. And once you've completed the epic campaign and read the conclusion of the story arc, you're not done yet. Most campaign-based games end here and recommend you play on a harder difficulty setting or with a different character. But Deliverance asks you to take your epic angel that you've built over the course of 14 missions and compete in challenges. This turns every single mission of the campaign into a new scenario with amped up enemies and new victory conditions that are sure to challenge your favorite builds. So check out the Kickstarter link in the description of this video to find out more about the campaign mode. Well, there you have Deliverance. And as I showed in the overview, Deliverance is a highly thematic cooperative game that brings asymmetric, action-driven tactical combat, a battle system that guarantees every battle feels fresh and interesting, 2 game modes, and a solo experience. Now, if you'd like to see the final art, components, and all the different pledge levels available, you can click the link below me right in the description of this video. Now, that's going to take you directly to the Kickstarter project page, and I'm sure that Low End Games would love your support.